everybody. It's wonderful to be back here at our weekly Chumash class. To all of our friends out there, thank you for joining us. And just a quick reminder that we're here at the Torch Center every week at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday at the Torch Center, and everyone's welcome to join us. Just a quick thought on this week's parsha. We have a very interesting phrase that says Hagbelas Hahar, where God is telling Moshe that the Jewish people should circle around the Mount Sinai before the Jewish people when they're about to receive the Torah. But it says Hagbel, which means to limit yourself. And our sages tell us a very interesting secret, is that in Judaism, everything is about balance. Everything we have in Judaism is about balance. You want to get close to Mount Sinai? Great, get close. But there's a certain limit. There has to be a certain balance. It's a very, very important fundamental principle. There must be balance. It's interesting that when our sages explain in the commentaries what the word Hagbel means, it usually means a limit. But it says Yetzahara. Right? It says Yetzahara. Hagbel means to limit your Yetzahara. What does that mean? That means that Yetzahara is our inclination that wants us to do negative, and then we have a Yetzer Tov, which is our inclination that wants us to do good. And they battle. You have to keep them in check, and you have to have a balance to keep things going well. So it's very interesting that someone told me this week a very interesting idea. If you look at the word Har, which means mountain, right? It means to limit the mountain. Limit your access to the mountain. Limit how much, right? There's got to be a balance. How much access, how much not access, right? How close do you get? So fire is great. But if you get too close to fire, you get burnt, right? So you want to be just at the right distance. You're not too far from the fire and cold, and you're not too close to the fire and get burnt. There has to be a balance. So if you take the letters Har, He, and Resh, and you look at the borders of those letters, look at what's before Gimel, before He. Before He is Dalet, and after He is Vav. So the borders of it is Dalet and Vav. So remember Dalet and Vav. Okay? And if you look at the letter Resh, look at the border of it, what's before it, Kuf, and what's after it, Shin. You take the Kuf, Vav, Dalet, Shin, it's Kadosh, Kuf, Dalet, Vav, Shin, right? It's Kadosh, it's holy. When you make limitations, that's when you find holiness. That means a person who is immersed in a world of physicality, you can't have holiness. But if there's a balance to that physicality, if there's a balance, a person who says, you know what, I'm going to be all kind, right? So he gives the shirt off his back and gives the food off his table, and he doesn't have anything, he can't exist. There has to be a balance. Everything in Judaism is about, and that is holiness. Holiness is when you find the right balance of things. Right? There has to be a certain, yes, God wants us to be all connected with this. We see that didn't either work. We see the two sons of Aaron, right? They wanted unlimited access to God. They got too close, too fast, Guess what? Boom, out. There must be a balance. And we see this constantly throughout the Torah, this idea of Hagbel es Hahar, control the Yetzirah, control, there should be a balance. Because balance makes us healthy. Balance, just a quick side note, my father is not a huge, I think I told you this, my father doesn't really like chocolate so much. You wonder, who doesn't like chocolate? Well, for his bar mitzvah, his aunt bought him an entire box of chocolate. And he ate it all. So he doesn't like chocolate anymore. Right? You have too much of something, it's not either good. Right? Very, very, I think a very apropos lesson for us in our culture that we're living in today that's so indulgent in a materialistic world, in a materialistic lifestyle, the habits that people think it's important for us to know. It's great to have luxuries. It's great to have things. There has to be a balance. We have to control it, not it control us. So my dear friends, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to continue now with our regular Chumash program. Have a terrific morning.